So now, speaking of animation, let's get into South Park, because South Park went in and let have on Donald Trump, and it had me cackling. Now, South Park came over its 27th season on Wednesday night, and in its debut episode, Trey Parker and Matt Stone literally put Donald Trump in the White House and in bed with the devil. This kind of reminds me of didn't they have that in what was it called? South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut, where what was it that the devil was in bed with? I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I've seen that movie. Wasn't he in bed like Saddam Hussein was in the bed with the devil? They went on him. I have not watched the episode because, like I said, I don't have network television, but I know Paramount Plus has it. Paramount Plus usually, like every other streaming service, you have to watch it on the channel first, and then the next day you get it. So I'm thinking by now the episode is up. So I'll have to check out the episode when I'm done with this. But I have seen a lot of the clips floating around on social media with Donald Trump talking about that he was gonna sue because some guy made a portrait of him in the White House and he had a small dick. When I see that clip, that shit was too damn funny. But anyway, so it said hours after the South Park co-creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone signed a new 5-year overall deal with Paramount Global. The long-running animated series took aim at the network's dealings with Donald Trump. Now, Wednesday's season 27 premiere, Jesus, this show has been around for a long time, just about as long as The Simpsons, featured the president complaining about the size of his manhood in an official painting, then crawling into bed with and trying to be amorous with Satan, who rejects him and complains about the size of Trump's manhood, and for the record said, manhood is seen, well, barely given its size, multiple times throughout the episode, including in a photorealistic segment at the end of the show. There are also multiple paintings scattered throughout the fictional White House that poke fun at Trump's military bravado. Another image seems to involve Trump and a sheep engaged in an activity not meant for polite company. Now, rather than depicting Trump in the South Park style, Parker and Stone used actual photos of the president's face in the animation, lest there be any confusion about whom they were referencing. Now, fans on social media speculate it's only a matter of time before Trump sues the show as well. It said, I give it 15 minutes before Trump is demanding the cancellation of South Park. LMFAO, wrote one viewer on Twitter. Now, in the episode titled Sermon on the Mount, the residents of South Park come together when the kid's school principal literally brings Jesus into the classroom. The town's parents riot, prompting a $5 billion lawsuit from Trump. Well, you know, he loves his M's and B's when it comes to talking about the size of stuff. I tell you, a size queen. Everywhere except between his legs. Now, earlier, Cartman is upset over the cancellation of NPR, which his mother tells him is Trump's doing. He likes the service because he sees wokeness as comedy. The government can't cancel the show. I mean, what show are they going to cancel next, says Cartman? Or he says, the government can't cancel the show. I mean, what show are they going to cancel next? You know how he be talking. At one point, Satan confronts Trump about rumors he's on the Epstein's list, a topic that sparked Trump's lawsuit against Wall Street Journal publisher Dow Jones and owner Rupert Murdoch. And it's funny how all this stuff is coming out. And you want to know something? I happened to see this meme and I was like, let me go over to my Facebook and read that one. Because I was like, y'all was spot on with this. Where they basically, come on, because sometimes this damn, I don't know what's been going on with this damn internet. Where is it? Because I could have sworn that I put it in here. Okay, so one person wrote, I don't remember who it was. It says, I think it's Trisha H Top X. I don't know. It's too damn small. I can't read it. But anyway, so the person said it should be noted how quickly South Park took the news of Colbert, wrote it in the show, kept it hush hush, secured the money, just to basically turn around and say, cancel us if you dare, we'll sue you. Like, this level of genius needs to be studied. Well, that's because Trey Parker and Matt Stone are smart. And then I happened to come across this article, which child I gagged, where there was an article that came out in 2016 from the Daily Chaos, I think it's Daily Chaos, KOS, where they said we all knew about the trafficking. Talking about that, the reason why Donald Trump is going after anybody who talks about Jeffrey Epstein and all this other stuff is because he and Jeffrey Epstein were in cahoots, and they were trafficking young girls, and they were using certain modeling agencies, and his beauty pageants as a front. So the article basically is called "We All Know About the Trafficking: The Untold Story of Trump Model Management Part 1." And then it said that one person said, "I've worked with Trump's model casting. We all know of the trafficking." And then, asked to explain further, he stated the following, saying, "For wealthy businessmen buying and selling fake contracts, unfortunately, many model agencies have the same business model." Then they went on to say they ship in models, Eastern Euros, who have absolutely no chance of working in NYC. It becomes a debt slavery for fresh meat. These tweets came from the account of Wade Turnbull. His remarks echo the sentiments of many who have worked with Trump model management. Turnbull's remarks are notable in particular because of their timing. They were made a full 2 months before the Mother Jones article outlining the immigration fraud, financial exploitation, and generally deplorable working conditions at Trump's agency were made public. It should also be noted that Mr. Turnbull, judging by his Twitter feed, is no fan of Hillary Clinton. This is simply his impression based on the experience of working with the particular agency. He is far from alone in his views. Now, about a month ago, I came across a Mother Jones article about Trump's modeling agency and its treatment of a young, largely immigrant workforce. The story was, in a way, the height of irony here was a man who built an entire campaign on his third line stance against immigrants, and all the while his business was committing full scale immigration fraud. But as I read on, I was struck by how much of it all resembled the business model of sex trafficking, something I have researched and written about extensively. I was like, what the hell just happened? I hate when I'm scrolling and then all of a sudden something else opens up. And then it said, "I'm not alone in my impressions. Others who commented on the Mother Jones piece and the subsequent coverage made similar observations. MSNBC's Chris Hayes commented that Trump's models seem to be borderline human trafficking, initially making the comment on Twitter and later in dedicating a segment of his primetime show to explore the topic. Seth Meyers, for his part, did a segment on the MJ piece as well, comparing it to an episode of Law and Order SVU, while his commentary was cloaked in his usual sardonic humor. Seth's disgust was evident as he wondered aloud if this prospect of Trump harboring sex slaves in his proverbial basement would be enough to make voters sour on his candidacy. At the time this story broke, I assumed it was going to blow up. I assumed that follow-up reporting would be done and it would become the major story of the 2016 election. I thought it might even open up long overdue dialogue about S trafficking and how our broken immigration and criminal justice systems enable its existence. But that never happened. To my astonishment, the story disappeared in the ether of the 24/7 news cycle and seemed to be all but forgotten within a week. If that, Barbara Boxer initiated a Senate inquiry, which I have been told is now underway. MJ did a short follow-up, noting that Trump model's only response was to point out that the story was from many, many years ago. It actually wasn't. Melania Trump sued a relatively unknown Canadian blogger and the Daily Mail over a related story, but which I don't understand how they talking about suing Daily Mail. Daily Mail love on woke and every other chance they get with their stupid headlines and cucking for Trump. So I thought the Daily Mail liked the Trumps and all of them over there. And then there was a woman, I remember hearing this story about that Ivana was in the car and was, I guess, how like she was good friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, which I didn't even know that. Ivana Trump, who was dead and buried on Mar-a-Lago's property, was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine, I guess, stopped in the middle of the street, saw some girl, little schoolgirl, like the Britney Spears schoolgirl outfit or whatever, went up to her, asked her for her information, I guess, because she wanted to make her a model, which was basically the front for the trafficking. Allegedly. Let me say it's alleged, but apparently this is all the stuff that is allegedly in that Epstein's list. And then the fact that Trump flipped out when somebody even brought up recently, and I think this was yesterday when this came out, that Jeffrey Epstein attended his wedding to Marla Maples. So when he's running around here saying, "Oh, I don't know them people. I mean, we weren't really friends," like, you're a liar. Yes, you were. Y'all were thick as thieves. Y'all were like Thelma and Louise, except y'all should have both gotten it. Y'all should have gotten that, y'all know how that movie ended. It's only them both was in that car. But anyway, so they said, So yeah, so definitely check out that Deadly Chaos article. But the part that gagged me, and I had to write this down so that way people could look at it, and it seemed like nobody liked it or commented. But let me put up some stupid thing about Drag Race and a funny meme, and I get all the laughs and the likes and the buttons and stuff. But that's why I say stuff here. So what I put in the headline was the following article was written in 2016, and yet in our current climate regarding the Epstein case, he doesn't want it to get out that he and Epstein were trafficking young girls allegedly throughout Trump's pageants or through Trump's pageants. Not only that, but John Casablancas, who ran Elite Modeling Agency, and yes, his son Julian was the lead singer of The Strokes, in case y'all didn't know that. John Casablancas, who ran Elite Modeling Agency, has been dragged into the mess along with Jean-Luc Brunel, who were notorious for dating, R-wording, and trafficking young girls. Brunel ran Karen Models and later MC2, a front Epstein used to bring in girls. Now, Casablancas and Trump were also close friends. They co-hosted private dinners where models were made to walk across tables so Trump could stick his head under their skirts. So, and the craziest part, Trump even sent Ivanka to John Casablancas for modeling gigs at age 14. So this is the climate in which we're in. And when you see like people like Trey Parker and Matt Stone and South Park and so many others that criticize him and are bringing this stuff up, even his own base is bringing up where the Epstein files. I just saw that finally, and I don't know if I believe it, Nick Fuentes is finally like, I'm tired of the BS with Trump. He's turned on him. Candace Owens just recently did a video that I watched that she's over Trump and his BS and questioning things about the Epstein. What does he have to hide? Like all of a sudden now y'all trying to turn over a new leaf and realizing that the man is full of shit. Like he's been saying so many lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. But I can't believe this is the actual Achilles heel that is really taking him out. Like this is the one thing that y'all are pissed off about out of all the things that this man has done. And then with the rolling back of the Project 2025 and the immigrants and what they're doing with Alligator Auschwitz, the fact that I'm hearing that they're actual casualties at this place already. They just built the damn thing in a week, and now we've already got dead bodies out there because of the horrible conditions. So the Epstein files is the thing that's going to take y'all. And I already told y'all the tea regarding that. He said, "Oh, I've never been on talking about the plane and never been on that, never went anywhere with." That's a damn lie because the first time he and Melania fucked was on that damn Epstein plane. That tea is out there too. All you got to do is the research. So I'm just sitting back with my popcorn. I'm enjoying the show, and I'm basically popping some popcorn later on. So I'll go watch the South Park episode because you want to know something? I haven't watched South Park in years because I forgot about it. And I feel like they do kind of like I think maybe the reason why I always forget about South Park is because they'll come out, they'll put a couple of episodes out and they disappear for years. And it's like out of sight, out of mind. But with this episode and the clips that I've seen online, I'm definitely gonna check it out because I'm in the mood for a cackle. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of the episode of South Park? Did you guys see it? It's funny, like he went after, Stephen Colbert using bribery and all this other stuff because Paramount needs that money for this merger, but I don't know if it's gonna go through now because this is what happens when you have these corporations that own so many properties. And it's like when you're trying to get things to go through, make it hard for yourself. So we have that. He went after Colbert. Now he's going after The View because he didn't like something Joy Behar said about him on The View yesterday. And now I would not be surprised if, South Park is next. But look, we cannot sit out here and be afraid to voice our opinions in regards of, because he wants to be this authoritative, fascist wannabe. And it's like, you just doing it all wrong. You are not as fit the perception of authoritative and scary, like a Netanyahu or Kim Jong-un and all these other dictators. So it ain't working. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.